Hello everyone, I'm Reena Agustin and welcome to Community Impact. The reason we are here is to bring to you the amazing people who are making a difference in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Jack. Hi Jack.
Hello Reena, how are you?
Very good, very good. How was your day?
Oh, it was very hard, but always working hard.
You're a very busy man.
I like to be.
That's good. And your background is Korean?
I am Korean born, but raised in Australia all my life.
Last time when I was speaking to you, you said that, oh, I have been here so many years. You look very young. And what's the secret? Let's start with that.
Do I look young? That's a compliment, thank you. But yeah, I'm reaching my 50s soon.
Oh, wow. So how long have you been here in Australia?
I came to Australia in 1983, to be exact, on Saturday at 11 a.m. 1983.
Wow. As a student?
No, as a child. I came here when I was 9 with my parents.
You migrated here?
Yeah.
And how has your journey been?
It was a very fun, but also there was ups and downs and roller coaster in my life. But yes, I truly did experience a lot, and I had a fun in my life.
Mm-hmm. So you came here a very long time back, and you did your schooling here. So Jack, explain the transition. Like, was it hard, and how did you mingle, and how did you cope, and how successful you are here today? What are things that you crossed, the hurdles?
Well, look, since a little kid, I always like challenges, and I always like to pioneer things that my peers hasn't experienced. So as an early child, always trying to endeavor or trying to do things that other people can't do or don't challenge. So yes, to achieve those things, it's a lot of challenges, and yes, a lot of risk, a lot of failures, and you learn a lot of lessons out of the failures.
Can you give us an example?
Well, when I was 17, I first want to become independent from my parents. So I traveled 6 hours from Sydney, and I started working as a kitchen hand and a waiter. And I worked like 12 hours a day. That was the first challenge of my life. Looking back, I don't regret, but I think I learned a lot out of that.
So you grew up in Sydney?
I grew up in Sydney all my life, yes.
Mm-hmm. And what made you come to Brisbane?
I was working in Papua New Guinea as a project manager for 2 years. And I always had to stop over Brisbane to fly to Papua New Guinea. And I saw the opportunity in Brisbane, being a construction person, and I saw the opportunity in construction industry in Brisbane.
Before we talk about your businesses, I would like to pick on one thing. How to be fearless like you?
Good question. Trying to be fearless. I think it's all about following your dreams and passions. I think that overrides any fears. I think that's probably what I've been doing, following my dreams and passion.
Mm-hmm. So what was your dream?
Opportunity, actually, that is the word. One of the catchphrase we have for Apex agency is dream, believe and achieve. And it's my goal to give as much opportunity as I could to the people. So
you help a lot of international students.
A lot of international students, people who were striving to reside in Australia. Yes, I did.
Yes. And why is that?
Again, I started helping my fellow Koreans, but now serving international students, it does not limit to Koreans.
So multicultural.
Multicultural.
Anybody can come and get a job.
Yeah.
So you started the Apex Stone project?
Yes, I started the Apex Stone project in Brisbane, and that's been going for about 4 or 5 years. And yes, while I was doing that, so many international students came asking for jobs. And my question was, why couldn't agents help them to find jobs? And I thought I can do better. That's how it all started.
So that's how you started the Apex Education?
And visa consultancy.
Visa consultancy, okay. Tell me more about that.
Well, first, again, I was in the construction looking for laborers. Always we struggle to have a lot of laborers in construction. And first I started looking for some Colombian South Americans they started working for me. And growing up in Australia, international study was always about university students or university qualification. I never ever thought there would be a lot of international students in vocational sector. But anyway, so started hiring some Colombians. I asked them what visa they're on, student visa. Then I moved on to Filipinos. Now my business partner, Eden Coronel, she was a Filipino and she started working with me and introduced me to Filipino market. Again, they were looking for jobs and I started to help them find jobs, also give them a job. And another thing was that what I noticed is so many people are lost about their future and their PR pathway.
Absolutely true. Absolutely true. And they go shopping to many places and they end up in the wrong path if not guided the right way.
True. That's so. One day I thought, okay, I helped so many Koreans to achieve or obtain permanent residency. I think about 150 people.
Tell me more about that because there was a story behind it.
Yes, I was serving with. Well, I was employed by CFMEU. So my title was New South Wales tiling sector organizer, looking after all the tiling sector in New South Wales. So under CFMU, there was once that were really against illegal workers in Australia. And in the construction industry in New South Wales, there's a lot of illegal workers. And there was a campaign trying to limit the illegal workers to work in construction industry. So we went, all the union, they went around and they started to check passports on especially Asians. And I was always against it. It was a discrimination.
Discrimination,
we have a British, I mean, we have people from all over the world. And so having that and said that, I actually went against the CFMEU rule, asking or demanding them to be fair. But also, I always thought, what can I do to help, in those days, my fellow Koreans to obtain PR? So we had a big campaign. It was called 457 campaign. So I ended up meeting Philip Ruddock, then immigration minister, and with the union, we came up with the 457 campaign. Up to 3 months overstay people, we were able to legalize them and go through the 457 campaign. So I went through all the employers, asked them, do you want to employ and give a permanent or 457 visa? So that's how it all started.
That's a long time back. Did you know the reason why they overstayed?
Well, for the Koreans, we had an economic crisis in 1998. Chinese, there was early days when Chinese started to come. We're talking about mainland. They came, and it was a bit ordinary in those days to overstay. I mean, it's much better now. There's a lot of visa pathways that are, that are offered to people that are temporary visa holders. But in those days, it was more strict, and there was a less pathway. So it was a bit normal in those days.
So that was Apex Stone Project and Apex Education, and you've got the third one, the Apex Cleaning Services.
So
how did that come about?
Well, starting with, again, I still do. Today I worked on construction side. From there, start giving jobs to international students and creating pathway for international students, which I think I always was involved. From there, cleaning service is basically for my students to when they arrive, because most of international students, when they're in panic. They don't bring much money. Always look for work. So for the immediate jobs, so I decided to create or establish cleaning service, which is very similar to construction.
So the education agency, the cleaning services, with the lack of students right now coming into the country, how are you coping and what is the solution?
It's not only Apex, it's not only cleaning sector. I've been traveling all over Australia, Western Australia, Melbourne. I've been all over Australia, always doing having those construction tenders. And I know it's not only now. Australia needs people. And there's always a shortage. Now, during this pandemic, because borders are locked, it's even worse. We are struggling. So there are so many opportunities out there. And there's a lot of jobs out there. But we are struggling.
Yeah, everyone. Every sector?
Every sector.
Yes, yes.
Every sector.
I was speaking to somebody and they said that, hey, Reena, the hospitality sector is suffering so much because the option of getting the Uber Eats and the Uber driver, Uber Eats and DoorDash and other...
Even that's a struggle.
Yeah, but still students are choosing to do that than work in hospitality, work in restaurants, work in the Asian, Indian restaurants, in construction, because it's easy. It's your time. You do it in your time. And that's so true. So the lack, and I can see, in the Brisbane city, everywhere, the advertisement, we're looking for waiter, we're looking for cook, we're looking for chef. People don't want to choose that because they've got more options. But if the international borders were open, I think we would have got the working holiday visas, the student visas, the people who are coming direct permanent residency also, they are in the start, they are looking for jobs also. They would do anything in the start. So I think everything is cut off. It's been 2 years.
2 years, and yes. So imagine 100,000 a year.
Yeah.
So that's a 200,000 we'd be missing.
Zero.
Zero.
Zero intake.
Yeah.
So Jack, money plays a very important role in the journey of our lives. So what's the importance of money?
The reason I'm laughing is, yes, I had the glory days, and I hit rock bottom, being a risk taker. But looking back, I always came up. And it's about, when I was young, yes, I did sometimes follow money. But looking back and, being aged now, being more wiser, it's really about following your passion, what you really like. And again, with this Apex of Stone, today I teach the one Korean and one Filipino worker. Absolutely, they were laborer. I started teaching them. So once you start to follow your passion and dream, I think the money will come.
Money will come.
Yeah, come with it.
So the passion.
That's my message to young people.
Yeah. So follow your passion.
Follow your passion. What you're good at, what you like to do.
There are some times it happens that, when you get older, later you change. Your passion changes.
I definitely have changed.
Yes, the passion changes. What if we realize later in life that, okay, now this is what I want to do and this is what I have wanted all my life, but I couldn't figure out. So what advice would you give to those people?
Overseas or in Australia or in general?
Anywhere.
Again, if I say to my kids, always say, look, do what you like and be responsible for what you have chosen. Think it over and over again, but do what you really want to do, something that you can enjoy. Struggle will come in your life. Anyone. You talk to your dads, grandpas, they would all say the same thing. There are ups and downs. My message is, guys, if you're having worst time of your life, look up. Right? You can't go any further down, so there'll be times for up. Those people who are on top, doing best, be prepared that you might go down. So there's always up and down. Don't give up.
No, but take risks.
Well, risk always comes, look, marriage is a risk. Choosing a school is a risk. Buying a car is a risk. There's always a risk.
Still people do it.
Yeah. There's things when you go shopping, you might buy a nice bag, but, there's a risk. It might be faulty. So risk is always in our lives. So we just need...
Fake Gucci.
But do not fear for risk. Yeah. As long as you're prepared and you're prepared to overcome, I think that is really just a part of it. Is really something you can overcome.
You said that you hit rock bottom, right?
Yeah.
So when you were at the rock bottom, what was your mental status that time?
Well, how I'm going to go back up. I used to have about 120 people working under my books. And when I say hit bottom, that's, again, I did not appreciate what I was earning. Start new things every day. When I went bottom, again, I looked up and I did from being, boss for 120 people, the next day I wasn't afraid to be back on tools, get my hands dirty, and I climb up.
Yeah, because mental health is a big issue right now, as we can, see. So, what are the tips that you can give that not only youngsters, everyone who is in the business,
I think I have a very good answer for that.
Fantastic. Go for
Healthy,
it.
physically fit gives you mentally fit. So basically, actually, about 10 years ago, when things didn't go well, first thing I did was go back. I was a start swimming. I was a national champion in Taekwondo. So I started training again and, got my fitness back. And you can think more straight.
Correct.
Yeah. So don't blame yourself what happened or don't use that as an excuse. Go out, ride a bicycle, go fishing. All right, you don't have money, just walk.
Wow.
Get yourself fit, and mentally you'll get fit.
You don't have to join a gym.
No.
Absolutely not.
That's $100 a month. That's money.
Which gym did you go to? It's $40 a week.
I never went to gym. I trained myself.
Yeah, it's
You don't need
expensive
to.
and it doesn't motivate you.
That's
if
an
you,
excuse.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so.
An excuse.
Yeah.
The membership fee, the gyms make a lot of money.
They do.
They do?
Yeah, they don't give you back.
No.
Yeah. And also they ask you to work yourself.
That's right. That's right. And if you need a personal
You got to
trainer,
pay again.
You
So
got
why
to
do
pay
that?
extra.
Start walking. Walking, just walk. Look, Australia, one of the good things about Australia is we've got beautiful rivers, parks, facilities. They're for free.
Yeah.
Just walk and just let yourself out. Then you can start to think, wake up early, then you should be all right.
So what's your daily routine like?
Wake up 5:30, go to work, train people. Then after that, then I talk to, because I have a lot of staff in Philippines. They're 2 hours behind us. So after work, I do online, like meeting with them.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll go to bed about 10 o'clock.
So tell me about this work-life balance. Having these 3 companies plus working with people who are working for you overseas, how do you manage it? Does it
Because
affect
I
your...
don't do it myself.
You have team.
You cannot build a business or you cannot build an empire by yourself. You gotta have people, and you have to learn to trust and let them do it.
I like that.
Yeah. So, with my business and education, I've got a managing director. I have business developer. I have a qualified consultants. Yeah. So they're the ones who's actually running the business for me. I just give them direction and an opportunity. That's all I do. Same with the tiling company, the stone. I teach them, but I let them do it on their own. Yeah.
Excellent. So what made your parents to move to Australia?
Oh, there was no choice for me. My father was overseas construction worker in Iran, and they had a civil war. And he didn't want to go back. So, guys, in early 70s, Korea was very poor. We were still poor. And so a lot of people went overseas to work, and my father was one of them. And before going, he wanted to another challenge. So in those days, Australia was the rising haven for a lot of workers. So he actually came on as illegal. He stayed. There was amnesty by the Australian government in 1978, I think, and he was legalised. They got his PR, and in those days it took about 3-4 years just to get your family document processed, not like now. So it took me 3 years to get all the document processed. No choice. Hey, you're going to Australia. So I did.
Packed your bags.
Yeah.
And here you are. So have you traveled the world?
I wouldn't say the world. I've been to America so many times, to China, a lot back to my country, to Vietnam, to Philippines. Yes, hopefully within a few years I'll get to travel more countries.
The borders are opening soon.
Can't wait.
I
think
know.
Singapore going to be my first one.
Okay, why Singapore?
Because they're going to open. That's another market for myself.
Oh, yes, for work.
Yeah, for work. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Work and travel.
Wow. So, Jack, this journey of yours in Australia, definitely, as we spoke, it wasn't easy, but you made it happen because it's the passion that you had. Do you think, comparing yourself back home, where you came from, would you have succeeded the same way as you did here?
I always said this to my staff and even my kids. When my father passed away about 7 years ago, he didn't leave me anything, and that's okay. But the one thing I really do appreciate is that he made me come to Australia. And I always believe, and I've been saying this to my students, I don't believe American dreams anymore. I don't think there is any. I think Aussie dream. Australia is the last place on earth where you can achieve your dream. So I really like to thank my parents for bringing me, being able to let me live in Australia and grow up in Australia. Yeah.
Wow. That's being grateful.
Come to Australia, everyone.
Come to Australia, and if you want to come to Australia, contact Jack.
Just think about it. Australia is a continent. It's not even a nation. It's a continent. And our population is what? 25 million? Yeah. Hey, it's a continent. We need more.
A continent with opportunities.
And look at it. We have a natural resource. Agriculture is one of the leading industry in the world. Tourism. I mean, we've got everything.
Absolutely.
We just need a lot of people to fill it up.
That's right.
Yeah.
A lot of people to fill it up.
Yeah.
Only if the borders allow us, Jack.
Yeah. And again, my message is, guys, it won't be easy, but come to Australia, and there's opportunity. Go for your dream. And if you're a little bit wiser, you were mentioning about people only want to do Uber deliveries.
Correct.
Go to construction. You earn over $1,000 and your wages go up. Go into agriculture. There's so many opportunities out there.
So many occupations.
Yeah. It's just if you start to think out of square, there's so much opportunities. And I just don't understand those people who are on a social benefit. I just don't understand. In Australia, we have so much jobs. And I just don't understand.
So when you say don't understand, what do you think the reason might be? Like every individual is different.
Taken for granted. Simple as that. They were brought up with everything. Do not realize the opportunity and what's available for them. And I think that's it. So I always say this to those early arrivals. Just remember, if you can work and if you can work the way you work back in your country, you'll be rich. And if you can work harder than how you've been working in your country, you'll be a millionaire.
Absolutely.
And if you work twice harder, you're going to be a billionaire in Australia.
That's right. That's right. So what changes when people come here? What happens?
Laziness? Again, no. I think we as immigrants are doing very well. But also, I think it's about guidance. And I don't know if I have time, but people like ourselves who's been here before the people who just arrived. If one person tries in the new industry, if we pioneer that industry or that sector, again, it gives a lot of people an opportunity for another people who follow you. So I always say this to my students. You create one job, you're giving 10 jobs to your fellow man. You disappoint one job, and you just lost 10 jobs for your fellow people.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
so always a pioneer. And that's, I think, our responsibility.
When you mentioned about this, your fellow men, there are places, because I'm a migration agent and people ask me, hey, do you have any student from this cultural background? From this cultural background? And I used to wonder, why this cultural background? I had to ask them, and I'm like, why do you say so? They said, oh, we have had bad experience with this cultural background, so we don't want to take a chance. So as you said, if one person does that, they believe that everyone is like that. We don't want anyone from that cultural background.
Well, it's a stereotype thing. That's just, look, I do understand because, for myself, I never had interaction with Indians before. And they're lovely people, so intelligent.
Thank Thank you.
But the thing is, it's just a stereotype thing, you know. That's why, look, it is very important for those people who's going to arrive in Australia or planning to come. Do not just stick to your comfort zone. Get out. Australians are so nice.
Yeah.
Koreans are nice. Indians are nice. Just ready to mix with them. And there's more opportunity.
Meet every
Yeah.
culture.
Because
Don't-
if you just want to stick to your food and your culture, why are you coming to Australia? Stay back home. Yeah.
better off in your own
Yeah.
country.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Right.
Come, explore. It's multicultural.
Absolutely.
Foods, events, there's so much. Yeah.
So, Jack, the advice for people who are doing business, the youngsters, what is the advice you would like to give them? Especially the ones who are young and wanting to start a business.
Think out of your comfort zone. Think beyond your square. If you get out of that, I think that you will start to see. If you're not just follow other people, like for example, I do not take on jobs that everyone can do. You gotta be unique, right? So, yeah, get
Find
out
your-
of your comfort zone. Get out of the normality. Then you find more opportunity. That's what Australians are lacking. They want to, like the foods. We got Indian food. Look at how many Indian restaurants there are. We have a Korean food. Look how many Korean restaurants are there. It used to be Italian and Greeks, Lebanese. Now it's all Asians. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and once they start to experience that new culture or new taste, there you go. That's opportunity. It just gets more and more. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Always a pleasure talking to you, Jack. Thank you so much for joining us.
Well, thank you, Rina. Always.
Thank you.